Hi, my name's Jamie. Welcome to Another Year Bolder. I am currently on a weight loss, get healthy journey. I'm working on lowering my weight, lowering my BMI, lowering my glucose, slimming down, trimming down, eating healthier foods, feeling better, and just having more mobility in general. Today is currently Monday, September, is it the 8th? Yes, Monday, September 8th. And I just finished my 5th week on the Diet Free Life program that I'm on. That is a program, if you're not familiar with it, where you're just eating regular foods. It's how you portion out your foods, how you put your foods together on a plate to create a fat burning meal versus a fat storing meal. I've talked about it in multiple other videos. If you're interested, I'll talk more about it towards the end again as well. So I'm just giving an update on week 5 since week 5 did just end. I wanted to go over some of my results. I did have some good points and I had some bad points on week 5, so I want to discuss all those with you. If you've been with me from the beginning, you know I started on August 1st, 2025. Sorry, I can't talk. My glucose at that time was 141. My weight was 314 pounds. My BMI was 62 and my waist was 55 inches. That was August 1st. So as of September 6th, which was Saturday, that's when I did my end of the week weigh-in for week 5. My glucose is now 120, and my glucose seems to be going up and down. The lowest I've gotten in the last 5 weeks is 108, but I can't remember what the highest was. I think the highest was 137, and that was on the 2nd week. So it's just been going lower and lower, and every now and then it makes a shift up, and then it goes back down. But I'm working on that. So again, my glucose was 120 for the end of week 5. My weight is still at 303. It's the same as the end of week 4, and I'll go into why that didn't change. My BMI is 59, and my waist is 53.5. So even though I didn't lose any weight week 5, I did lose a half an inch in my waist, which is really good, and I'll take it. It's a win for me. Because remember, I'm not 100% focused on the number on my scale. Yes, I want to lose weight. I was really, really hoping I was going to drop lower than 300 this week. I'm so close, and that is like really the only weight number goal that I have other than just getting to a healthier weight. I just want to be under 300 pounds, and I want that like really bad. I was really, really hoping that this was going to be the week for me to hit that. Unfortunately, it was not. I'm still at 303, which 11-pound loss in a 5-week period, that's good. I'm focusing on slow and steady. I want to make sustainable changes that are going to be true, that I can keep up with, that are going to be easy. I don't want to lose weight too fast. One, you're going to have a lot of loose skin if you lose too fast. You also take the risk of gaining it back rather quickly if you lose it too fast. So there's just a lot of different stipulations involved in when you lose weight too fast. So again, slow and steady is where I want to be. Sorry if you hear any noises. Our weather is bad. We're in hurricane season, so it seems to be bad every single day. And I have both of my dogs sitting on the side of me, and one is snoring and one is having some dreams. So you might hear that, and I'm sorry if you do. Okay, so let's talk about why I did not lose weight, or why I feel I did not lose weight. I did talk to my weight loss coach earlier today, and we discussed it on Monday, which was Labor Day. I think that was Monday, November. No, we are not in November. Monday, September 1st, Labor Day. I had family in town over that weekend, and I went to have lunch with them. It was raining, and I had on these shoes that just really had zero traction. I've almost slipped in them multiple times just when they were on dry surfaces. So when we went out to eat, as soon as we got done eating, sorry, I keep moving the camera. It was raining, so I waited underneath the little foyer area for it to kind of not rain as hard. My family waited with us, and then it did die out a little bit. So my family went to get their car, and they were loading. There were several of them, so they were all loading everything back in the car, and they were loading in the car. But I was literally right across from the door of the place that we went to eat. And I don't know if you've ever walked on like the crosswalk, but if you know where the white paint is on the crosswalk, if you've ever walked on it, it's slippery in general, but if you walk on it when it's wet, it's even more slippery. So I'm sure you can figure out what happened. I had shoes with no traction, it was raining, and I was walking on the crosswalk where it was slippery. Yes, I fell. I fell really hard. I fell, I hit my left knee, I hit my wrist, I landed on my tailbone. And when I landed on my tailbone, some kind of way, I jarred my neck, which really, really hurt my head. And I was kind of just sitting there for a few seconds. I don't know how long it was. I couldn't tell you. I was sitting there for a few seconds in the rain, mind you, because my knee was hurting so bad. I didn't know if I could stand back up. So I just kind of sat there. And in the time that I fell, and this was in seconds, I can't tell you how long it was, a stranger came running up to me and to check on me to see if I was okay. And he said he was going to help me up, which I greatly appreciate. I can't tell you how much I appreciated this man coming out to help me. My family didn't see what would happen because they were parked in a different area than I was. So they hadn't made it to that side of the parking lot yet. So they had no idea that I had fallen. So the man helped me up, and I'm a big girl, okay? I'm a big girl. And this guy, he was pretty well stocked, you know? He can handle me, but I still made me nervous depending on someone else to help me, you know, off the ground. It just makes me nervous because I'm a big girl. So anyway, he lifted me up, or he helped pick me up, and I was standing there for a second, and he just held on to me for a second, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I think so." And then I mean literally a second. "Are you okay?" "Yes, I'm okay." Went to take a step. Bam, I fell again. I'm not joking. I fell again. He tried his best to catch me. Unfortunately, he couldn't. And I, once again, hit the ground, but this time I hit my right knee. Landed on my right wrist and my tailbone again. So by this point in time, both of my knees were hurting, both of my wrists were hurting, and my tailbone was just on a whole nother level of pain. And still my neck and my head were hurting. For some reason, my head was hurting really bad. It almost felt like I hit my head. As a matter of fact, I thought I hit my head, but come to find out I didn't, and I don't know how I would have. But it hurt as if I had hit it. So then two other people had seen what had happened, and one of my sisters had seen what happened. So two other strangers came running to me. My oldest sister and one of my nieces came running to me, and I can't even tell you. I can't tell you. I was humiliated. I was embarrassed. I was in pain. I was happy people were helping me. I wanted to cry. I wanted to laugh. You name it. I was going through every emotion that you could possibly think of. The number one was I was hurting. That was my number one emotion. I do not know why, but for some reason I just got teary-eyed talking to you about it. So if you see my eyes red or watering, and it's because for whatever reason, the situation was very overwhelming for me. And even now, just talking to you about it makes me anxious. Just give me a second. Whew. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying not to cry. I don't know why I'm crying about it, because this was last Monday and it's been 7 days. I guess because I did have all of those emotions happening at one time, and I'm feeling, again, all the emotions that I felt then. This time when I fell the second time, I'm so sorry. I can't stop crying. Give me a second. Okay. So this time when I was on the ground, and I had 5 people helping me instead of 1, I just sat there for a second. I said, y'all got to give me a minute. I was terrified to try to stand back up. I was so afraid that as soon as I got back up, I was going to fall again. And if you know me, if you've been here for a while, you know that I already have really bad knees from a car accident that I had years ago. And I was in physical therapy for it for a long time. And I recently just got out of physical therapy, and they were doing so much better. They still hurt me from time to time, and it's still hard to walk on from time to time. So to have these 2 falls where I not only hit one knee, but I hit both knees. And then, I don't know if I've ever talked about this. Oh gosh, my nose is all red. But I have carpal tunnel in both of my wrists just from, I worked an office job for over 20 years, and I have carpal tunnel just due to the constant typing. And then this last year I got trigger thumb in both of my thumbs, and I've had to have 2 shots in this one shot in this one. I'm going back for a second shot this Wednesday, which was supposed to be my appointment, but I'm trying to see if now he can see me for my knees since I fell. So falling on my knees, hitting my knees, hitting my wrist, hitting my tailbone, all of that just kind of resurfaced a lot of past pain and current pain, everything that I'm going through. And then it added tailbone pain. I have a hard time sitting, like if I like to take a bath, so I have a hard time sitting in the bathtub. I work from home remotely at my desk, and I have a hard time sitting. I'm sitting on my bed right now, and it's okay because it's very, very cushiony and comfortable. But if I try to sit on anything that doesn't have that cushion, it's very, very painful for me, and it hurts to stand up. So probably gonna have to get a donut to sit on or something like that. If you've ever had that, it's just this big round blow up thing. It kind of looks like a pool float, and I don't know. I might need to get one of those just so I can sit on it for a while at least until it heals. Sorry, I'm making this really short story long, but I wanted to tell you what happened and why the events of the rest of the week occurred. So as I was sitting there and I told the 5 people to give me a second, I was like, I have to take off these shoes. They are what keeps making me slip. Because yes, the road was slippery, but what was worse was my shoes. My shoes were horrible. And I knew I should not have worn them. I kept them because they're so comfortable, and on top they looked great, but on bottom they had zero traction. So I took off my shoes, and I actually had a to-go bag because I didn't eat all of my food and my niece didn't eat all of her food. So she gave me hers because they were going out to Universal Studios and they weren't going to be home for several hours at the place they were staying at. So I took hers home from my husband. So I had this big bag of leftovers. Somehow I managed not to spill it when it landed. So I set that aside. My niece grabbed my shoes and the to-go bag, and then the other 4 people started to help me up, and they all helped me up, and I stood there, and they were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm okay. I'm so thankful for you. I can't thank you enough." You know, I was like half crying, half laughing. I was so appreciative, and they were just so kind. And the gentleman that first came to me said, "Where's your car? I can bring you to your car." And I said, "It's literally right here," because it was literally 2 feet in front of where we were or less. I was almost to the car when it happened, but I wasn't close enough for the car to catch me or for me to catch myself on the car. So my niece grabbed my shoes and the food, to-go food, and she walked me over to my car along with my oldest sister, and then the strangers headed back. And my oldest sister, she reminded me of this incident that happened, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, you know what I thought of?" And I said, "I know exactly what you thought of." And I said, "It's exactly what I was thinking when I fell both times, and as I'm just sitting there and can't seem to get back up." So we both just started to laugh, and she's like, "Are you sure you're okay?" And I was like, "I'm okay." At that point, I was okay. I just wanted to get in my car, sit down, and go. So my niece made sure I made it over to my car. She was like, "I'm making sure you get inside your car and you're okay and you're safe." So I got in the car. I was safe. And then it was like, once I got in the car and everybody had left me, oh my goodness, I'm going to cry again. This is crazy. Once everybody left me, it was like I had this overwhelming amount of emotions hit me. And I just cried. I cried the entire way home. I was so overwhelmed with falling twice. Oh my gosh, sorry, give me a second. I promise I'm going to get through this video. So anyway, I had an overwhelming amount of emotions hit me. I called my husband because he and I share a vehicle, and I had to bring him to work that day. And he was like, "Let me know when you're done with them so that if I finish work early, you can come get me." So we said, okay, because sometimes he gets off really early, but most of the time he doesn't. It's just, you never know. It just depends on when he's done with all of his deliveries, when he's done with all his routes, that they send him to help someone else. So I was trying to message him, but I did it with a voice messenger instead of text. I just, did the voice thing. And because I was driving and I don't like texting and driving. So I was trying to let him know what happened, and I couldn't stop crying again while I was telling him everything. And then he texts me back and he's like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" And because he tried to call me and I didn't answer. And I said, "Yes, I'm okay now." I said, I don't know really what to tell you. So he's like, "Well, I'm going to call you as soon as I have a moment where I could take a break." And he did. And I told him everything that had happened and that I thought I had hit my head, but there was no way possible. And he said that I sounded really out of it and really loopy. And I think I was still just in the shock of everything that had happened. He had me call my best friend and talk to her for a while because he was at work and he couldn't continue to talk to me. So he had me call her and talk to her just until I felt better and I felt more comfortable, just in case I did somehow hit my head, that I stayed awake because I was really, really tired and I wanted to go to sleep. And he's like, "Don't go to sleep. in case somehow you did hit your head. So anyway, she kept me up. I talked to her, and then I talked to her maybe an hour and a half, and then I needed to take my dogs out, and then my husband was done. He got done really early that day, so I was like, oh, good. Well, I'm going to come pick you up. And then that's what I did. I went and picked him up. But needless to say, with that event taking place, it kind of left me in a lot of pain, and I'm still in a lot of pain. Not as bad as I was the first couple of days after the slip and fall accident had happened, but still I'm having a problem with my tailbone and my wrist and my knees. Just like I said, it's not as bad as it was the first couple of days. Sorry again, I don't know why this is so emotional now. So I do have an appointment this week. It's originally for my hands, but I'm going to see if he can see me for my knees too. If he can't, I'll see if I can make another appointment because I really need to get my knees looked at. So with me hurting throughout the week, there was, I want to say 3 or 4 days, I'm pretty sure it was 3, that I skipped a meal. That I'm supposed to eat 3 meals a day and 1 snack. That's what me and my weight loss coach have worked out. And there was those 3 or 4 days that I didn't eat 1 meal. I only ate 2 meals and a snack. A couple of those days, I know I wasn't hungry, and there was like I want to say a day that I wasn't hungry and I was just hurting. And then there was one day where I was just hurting and I didn't feel like going to fix me anything because I was just in a lot of pain. And because I skipped 3 meals for the week, it definitely, he feels like that it hindered my weight loss because with my premenopause and, being 47, all of that, I have to eat a certain way to lose the weight, and you have to eat more to lose. And I know a lot of people don't understand that, or a lot of people think, wow, that's crazy. But it is. If you're following the diet-free life method, you do have to eat. You need to eat your 3 meals, and you need to have your snack. That's all you have to do, is just those 3 meals and your snack. But by me skipping them, it kind of hindered my fat loss, and I was concerned about that. But I also had a really good week 4. I lost 4 pounds week 4. So when we had that consult, he told me, don't be shocked if week 5 you don't lose anything, or you only lose like 1 pound. And he said, you may even gain. And I said, okay. So when I got on the scale, I wasn't really shocked that I didn't lose any weight. I did still lose 1/2 inch in my waist. So something was definitely happening. But I was also wondering if skipping those meals is what caused it. So as we talked about it, he said, yes, you need to eat your meals in order to burn your fat, which I already knew that. I was just being stubborn, I guess. So this week I'm making it a point to eat my meals, although I think I may have already skipped a meal this week. So I need to make sure the rest of the week I am eating all of my meals, all 3 of my meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I am still on the same plan, and I'm probably going to stay on the same plan for a while because we did talk about that too, where I do for breakfast and lunch, or meal 1 and meal 2, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to have protein, a fast carb, and a slow carb. I may have a half a fast carb for meal 1 and meal 2, but I'll definitely do my best to have the fast carb in there. And then for my meal 3, which is my dinner, it'll be 0 fast carbs and just 2 slow carbs. So it'll be 2 slow carbs and a protein. And then my snack, in case you're not familiar, I can have anything for my snack as long as it's 100 to 200 calories. It can't be less than 100 and it can't be more than 200. And then I drink a lot of water. I use a lot of I think it's called True Lemon. Is it True Lemon or True Lemonade? I think it's True Lemon. Drink powders, because drinking plain water all the time does get boring for me. I wish it didn't, but it does. And then I do have some little mini Dr. Peppers that I have every now and then because I'm trying to wean myself off of sodas. So that's where I'm going to stay moving into week 6, or I'm already partially in week 6, but I'm probably going to be at this part for quite a while. Anyway, I'm just glad that I'm okay. I'm glad that the accident wasn't as bad as it could have been. I'm glad that, I was able to get up and walk away from it. I'm glad I lost 1/2 inch in my waist. I am really, really hoping that this week that I'm in now, I'll get under the 300 pounds. However, sorry, my hair is a mess. However, I can tell you that my menstrual cycle is coming. I feel it. I always cramp a few days before. So that's happening. It's making its way back around. And when I'm on my menstrual cycle, I get bloated. So we'll see what the end of week 6 does. Either way, I'm not going to get discouraged. I'm not going to get unmotivated, even through the pain and the accident and the non-weight loss. I'm going to keep pushing forward because I did do so good weeks 1 through 4, and I'm so excited about that. And what else was I going to tell you? Oh, okay. Sorry. I have moments. If you are new here and you're not sure what a fat burning plate is, a fat burning plate is whenever you have a protein, a fast carb, and a slow carb on your plate, or you have a protein and 2 slow carbs on your plate. That is a fast burning plate. You can also have just a protein and 1 fast carb. That's also fat burning as well. To create a fat storing meal, you would have a protein and 2 fast carbs, just a protein and 3 fast carbs. All of that is fat storing. And what I'm calling, when I say fast or slow carb is something that doesn't, well, I don't really know how to explain a slow carb, but it's like, so for slow carbs, it's like lettuce, cucumbers, tomatoes, cherries, strawberries, blueberries, celery, cauliflower, carrots, green beans. There's a whole slew of slow carbs. And then fast carbs are things like potatoes, potato chips, pastas, bread, oranges, apples, bananas. Gosh, there's a lot more fast carbs, but that's just, you're understanding where I'm going. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before. I think I have. Sorry, I keep moving the camera. I'm trying not to hit my dog, and instead I'm hitting the camera. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but whenever you are eating your fat burning plate, it's always best to start with your slow carb. So if you have a fast carb on your plate, you want to eat your slow carb first, then go to your protein, and then go to your fast carb. And the reason why you want to do that is because your slow carb, you're not going to gain any weight from that. And then the protein is something you have to have. But by the time you make it to your fast carb, if you're full or somewhat full, that's what you're going to not finish. And that's okay to not finish that. But if you start with your fast carb and then you eat your protein and then you get your slow carb and you're kind of full, then you kind of just missed a chance to keep your fat burning better. And I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist or anything like that, so I can't give you all the details about it. But that's just what I was taught through Diet Free Life, is that start with your slow carb, go to your protein, and then save your fast carb for last. And if it works, it works. I mean, actually it works. I can't tell you if it works, it works. It does work. Because, again, if you're new to me, I lost over 65 pounds on this program several years ago. I kept it off for several years. I say several years ago, but it's been a long time. I did keep it off for several years, and then, life got in the way. I had the accident. I actually had 2 accidents, and I hurt my back really bad. I hurt my knees really bad. I was immobile for several months when I hurt my back, and I just gained the weight back. So now I'm trying, before I hit 50, my goal is to be in much better shape going into my 50s than I am currently in my 40s. Because, when you go into your 50s, it's just a whole nother step to your body changing. So your body changes as it gets older. And then I just want to be better in my 50s than what I am now in my 40s. Gosh, I look really rough. Sorry. I was crying. Sorry. Anyway, I hope all of this is helpful, and I really appreciate you being here. And if you have any questions, as always, please comment them below. If you want to follow along with my journey, if you want to learn more, hear more, just hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and then click on the notification bell to get notified whenever new videos post. I do have another video that's going to be coming out on this Thursday, and it's going to be about the healthy swaps we've made for some of our snacks and a few other foods. So you're not going to want to miss that. We're working on not eating any seed oils, also working on trying not to have as many artificial sweeteners. I say that as I just told you I drink True Lemon, but we're working on that as well. So just check that out if you like. It'll be posted on Thursday around 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I do hope that you take a look at that, and I hope that it's helpful. I really appreciate you, and I really thank you so much. Doing this has helped keeping me motivating. I'm also part of this weight loss challenge online, and it's not where it has anything to do with my food or anything like that, because I follow what my coach says. But it's just a bunch of people together talking and trying to help one another and trying to keep one another consistent, because consistency is key. Staying on board, staying moving forward, all of that's important, and that's what I need to do. And then my workout right now, because he doesn't want me to do too much until I see my doctor about my knees, I'm just walking. I'm just doing gentle walks. I was up to 20 minutes, which to a lot of people, that's probably like, well, that's not a lot. But, you know, I started out at 5, went up to 20 with my knee and my back injury. And then now that I got hurt again, I'm just walking a little bit every day, because I don't want to do anything that's going to make the injury worse until I see my doctor. And he agrees as well. Eventually he wants me to get on a resistance training program, but he said that now is not the time for that. And he wants me to take collagen, because I did ask him about loose skin. Like when you lose weight, you do get loose skin in certain areas. So we spoke on that today. And he told me that collagen is really good to take for that. And so, you know, that's something that we're going to work on in the future as well. Although I want to start taking the collagen sooner than later. There is a company that I want to partner with, and I believe the name of it is BioCell. I'll have to find out for sure, but I think it's BioCell, and I want to start taking their omega, I can't remember what it was, I can't say it, omega-3 oil, I think is what it was. I have to look it up, I told you. I don't really remember, and they have the collagen that I want to look at as well. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. I'll be posting that as I get started on it, and once I get started on it, things like that. Sorry, I'm trying not to hiccup. So I do want to get started on the collagen, BioCell. I believe it's called BioCell is the name of the company, with the collagen, and it has some omega oils that I also want to do. That's really good for your body. And there's a test you can take to kind of find out where you are health-wise. I want to do that as well. That's all coming in the future. As soon as I have that in place and I know more about it, I'll definitely post it here, or talk to you about it, let you know more about it, and you know, we'll go from there. I'm not real big on taking supplements or medications, prescribed, non-prescribed. I'm not that person. I don't like that. So I try to do everything I can to not have to take any prescribed or non-prescribed medications. And I can tell you this, I believe I spoke about it before. I have heartburn really bad. I've had it really bad for quite a while now. And I have to avoid like red sauces and sometimes tomatoes, bringing it on. If I use the cucumbers with seeds in it, so I eat English cucumbers because the seeds don't give me heartburn. But I have to make slight changes or some changes to avoid it. And milk helps a lot when it hits me, but I have actually been on a medication for my acid reflux and heartburn, things like that. And I really want to get off of that medication. And this has actually been helping me. I haven't had to take it as often, and I haven't needed it as often, which is a huge deal. And I do still enjoy my red sauce. I do still enjoy my tomatoes, because that's what I love. I'm not going to give it up completely. I just can't have it as often. And I know I can't have it during the later parts of the day, because if I have it during the later parts of the day, like let's say if I do it after 4 or 5, if I eat pizza, or if I eat tomatoes after 4 or 5, not even really tomatoes, but pizza, and the worst is the cucumbers with the seeds in it, then I get heartburn really bad at night, and it's like almost impossible for me to sleep. I get to the point where it makes me really sick, and I have to keep a trash can by my bed, so you can imagine how that goes. But anyway, with this program, all of my heartburn and inflammation there has been getting so much better. So I can't wait, and I hope that it goes away completely at some point, because that is my number one goal, is to just be healthy all around. I want better gut health. I want better mobility health. I want better stomach health. I want better health everywhere. That's my goal. I know I'm just rambling on right now. So anyway, thank you again for watching. See you next time. Oh, one last thing before I forget. Stay watching till the end if you want to see what I ate last week, and you'll also get to see the meals that I did skip. But if you want to see what I've been eating, just keep in mind, I'll post it. I am a very, very picky eater. I say that because I am very picky. You're going to be able to eat meals and do meals that I won't do, because I'm just that picky. But anyway, just stay tuned for that. You'll see what I ate. All right. Bye. Officially bye. Thanks.